Beyond Patel.
So thanks to Devesh and the whole ExCom committee of ICAT that JLT Girls Club is getting this opportunity.
It's our pleasure to host you all. Thank you, Toastmaster Dharmendra, to come up with this initiative from your side as well to have our young Cavaliers to join us for this session.
Thank you, dear. Thank you. I put myself on mute.
Okay.
Sure.
Please.
Sir, can we start or shall we still wait for more participants to join?
How many people we are expecting mostly?
It's hard to tell, but we have quite a few participants already. I'm not sure. Vyom is also here.
Okay.
So
we can start then.
I think then, Manoj, if you can put the spotlight on Sergeant at Arms, let's get started.
Okay.
Yeah, let me know if you're able to see my screen.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, okay.
Yeah. Hi, good morning, everyone. This is your Sergeant at Arms, TM Siddiq here. Welcome to the online educational session on evaluation conducted by DTM Aravindakshan. Sorry.
No problem.
Just to give a brief introduction about him, he is a chartered accountant by profession. He is a Toastmaster. He has been a Toastmaster for 13 years. He has held various ExCom roles, including that of a president of 3 clubs, ICAT Toastmasters, Friends of Yoga, and CMA Toastmasters. He has attended 4 international conventions in Kuala Lumpur, Las Vegas, Washington, D.C., and Anaheim. He has completed 3 pathways in the new curriculum of Toastmasters and achieved a Distinguished Toastmasters Award. Thank you, Mr. Aravindakshan, for joining us. Just to keep you informed, this session is being recorded, and if anyone has any issues with the same, please let us know. If there are any concerns, you can let us know. Okay. So over to you, Mr.
Recording in progress.
Please close
Over to
that.
you, DTM Aravindakshan.
Yeah, please. Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Siddiq Khan. Could you please stop that sharing slide?
Yes.
Thank you, Toastmaster Siddiq, for that lovely introduction. Fellow Toastmasters, dear Cavaliers, and distinguished guests, good morning.
Good
Morning.
Thanks, sir.
I'm extremely thankful to Toastmaster Devesh and entire ICAT team for giving me this opportunity to do a session on evaluation. Initially, it is conceived as a small education session for new Toastmasters to brief the details of evaluations. Now, it is turning to be a creative and productive workshop in which you all will be able to prepare an effective evaluation speech at the end of the session. Today, we have an insight on evaluation. I will share my experience on evaluation. Also, we have a speech from Toastmaster Pragati, demo speech, 7-minute speech. And we have 4 vibrant evaluators joining us to demonstrate how a best evaluation should be. These are all part of this education session. So I will give you a few points. I have a template of 10 points that I will present to you. If you keep note of that 10 points and write against what you observed during the test speech, you will be able to give that speech. You will be able to give a better evaluation speech. I request all of you to keep a pen and paper before you and write notes on the 10 points and what you observed against those points from the test speech. So you prepare your speech, even if you are not delivering that speech today, prepare your speech and maybe you can deliver to me or Toastmaster Pragati or Toastmaster Devesh. So we will see that. So that is about the ground rules. As Toastmaster Siddiq had mentioned, I am a Toastmaster for the last 13 years, joined ICAT in 2012 when Naveen Sharma was the president. And I have seen and witnessed the leadership of most vibrant, veteran and visionary leaders of ICAT, later then upgraded to be the leaders of Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, and they excel in their profession. And we can see a lot of eminent chartered accountants and other financial professionals. I also seen evaluators who are closely observing, critically analyzing, and elevating the target speaker to the next level by identifying their great potential, hidden potential. In fact, that is the mission of an evaluator, to make a better speaker. It is not about finding fault or criticizing. It is the evaluation is about contributing, identifying their best element of speech, identify their strength, and encourage them to build on that strength. That's why when I gave my first speech, the icebreaker speech in ICAT, Toastmaster Sanjay Gagrani was the evaluator. He is now the Institute board member. When I narrate my story about my profession, once I was a finance consultant for a World Bank assistant drinking water project in rural India. My mission was to block the leakage of money when flowing the water to the people. I used that sentence. And he clearly identified that particular poetic usage and highlighted and told, Arvind, this is your strength. For a beginner, for a newcomer, giving ice-breaking attempt in a Toastmasters, that is a big boost. That identify my strength. There are evaluators who found fault and criticized people, found a lot of critical points, and after that, after listening the evaluation, the target speaker, the first comer, will not come back again to the Toastmasters. The purpose of evaluation is to encourage the speakers, motivate the speakers, boost their confidence. And Sanjay Gagrani did that. It is not a flattery. It is not you are telling something untrue. It is honest, sincere, with a deep desire to help someone. That is the first thing you need to have a speaker. That I learned from Toastmaster Sanjay Gagrani. Then I saw other veteran evaluator, Toastmaster Dilip Jain. I'm sure most of you know Dilip Jain. Dilip Jain evaluation you have to watch. How clinically you watch, observe the speech and write down it notes. Suppose a speaker is giving a speech on cricket, passion on cricket, he would open like, Toastmaster so-and-so, your opening is like a Virat Kohli on first over on strike. Clear, focused, and straight to the point. So that is why you customize according to the theme, content of the speech. That's why I learned that evaluation, not only a mission to help other Toastmasters, it is about cultivating the creativity within us, because it has a lot of scope for us to grow further, because we can customize our language. Because in some other occasion, I saw other speakers using that. Once done, Toastmaster gave a speech on a video how he learned cooking by seeing the YouTube video that Toastmaster evaluated. Your speech was like a meal, colorful, balanced, and satisfying all. Now I feel hungry. That is the evaluation point that person got. This is about customization with beautiful language. These are I learned from Toastmaster Dilip Jain. I also learned from Toastmaster Sangeeta Nahar, another veteran Toastmaster. And recently, I was listening to contest speeches of Toastmaster Rebecca. What an excellent usage of English. And by observing all other evaluators, we get a lot of input. That is what I want to tell you at the beginning. Now let us summarize with all my insight and experience with some 10 bullet points that I'm going to share with you now with a PowerPoint slide. Today, I will share only that 10 points. Can you see my presentation?
Yes, sir, we
Yes,
can
sir.
see.
Yes, we can
Yes.
see your presentation.
Yeah. The first point that you have to note down in your note is always start with the positivity. Always begin by appreciating something very strong. As I mentioned, Dilip Jain example, the Virat Kohli on strike in the first over, confident, straight to the point. That way, you appreciate the audience, because by starting with the positivity and high power, you are actually preparing the audience to accept your message. If you are starting with some criticism or low energy language, the audience will not listen to you. The speaker, the target speaker will not listen, value your point. Always start with positivity and power so that everyone eager to listen to your speech. Remember that evaluation speech also a speech. 3-minute speech. It should have opening, body, and conclusion, and all the elements, basic elements of a great public speech. So you are a performer. So remember that you also start with the positivity and power. Another example, for example, you had a speech on exercise. Maybe you can tell, I kept in some notes because of examples. You heard about exercise speech, and you can start with something like this. Your speech proves that exercise is not just about muscles. It is about courage, discipline, and turning procrastination into progress. And the best part, you made us smile when feel inspired to move. Just thinking about different types of opening depends on your ability and skill and your creativity. Apply all that, have a different opening. And second part, the speaker gave this 7-minute speech. You are giving evaluation for that speech, right? The speaker, for giving the 7-minute speech, the speaker must have done a lot of research, preparation, practice. It is hours long effort. And the speech has great value to the audience. And acknowledge that speaker's effort. That's the second point. Recognize speeches, preparation, and courage. For example, in 2-3 years back when UAE was getting a lot of rain, I made a research on the cloud seeding technology. So based on that, let me, even though I am an accountant, I am a finance professional, let me think about something engineering or science. I prepared a speech and presented. While giving evaluation of that speech, the Toastmaster Kirtivasan, a member in other club, probably many of you know him, he told that, as I understand, Arvind, you are a finance professional. Today, you talked about an unfamiliar subject to you, engineering and science. And you brilliantly performed it by applying the learning what you got from Toastmasters. So Always acknowledge the speaker's effort. That will give the speakers get satisfaction. So that is the second point. And third point is evaluate the content. The speeches, pathway programs, or different speech or different objectives. And as an evaluator, it is our duty to read the objectives well in advance, understand what is expected from the speech. So you have a clear idea whether the speaker met the objectives of the speech. Last month, I evaluated a speech. It was an icebreaker speech. The icebreaker speech, all of you know, it is about talking to himself, introduce yourself to the club, but knowing about your profession, your family background, you know more about you, that's all. But that particular Toastmaster talked about some celebration happening in Amsterdam. I just wondered what is he talking. But as evaluator, it is my duty to evaluate, and it is also a performance role for me. If the evaluator not meeting the objectives, he talking something else, should not be my concern as an evaluator. So I evaluated the speech and independent speech as if he is giving a speech and maybe some other objectives or a well-structured standard speech. And I got a lot of points. He talked about festivity, colors, and the luxuries of Amsterdam, the beauty of that Europe, everything described beautifully and marvelous way. He has tremendous skill. I highlighted all those points. Only recommendation side, one point I told, the speech objective was to know yourself. Now, if you bring that color, festivity, and your ability to have a strong command over the language can be incorporated to tell your story. For us to know you better, your family, your profession, because that is the objective of the speech, that would have been wonderful. Only one line of recommendation. Rest everything standard 3 minutes evaluation speech. So if you're evaluating a speech as an independent basis without if the speaker is not meeting the objective of the Toastmasters pathway, just think whether the speech is clear and whether as it is independently a speech has a clear purpose. If he's talking about food, preparation of food, whether that he met the objectives, helping the member Toastmasters audience to know more about the food preparation, or importance of exercise, or importance of being optimistic in life, resilient in life, whether they met the objectives, whether the purpose is clear. Just identify that. So I remember when I gave a speech on the time management, the evaluator told, your story about time management was clear. Unlike my mother, Sarmaji's Wi-Fi, which disappears exactly when I need it most. So that way you can evaluate a speech content. So evaluate the speech content, whether it is meeting the purpose, whether the independent basis, the purpose is clear or not. The most important things is check the structure of the speech, the organization of the speech from the beginning, middle, and end. Every speech needs a flow. For example, you are talking about your childhood memories. Then suddenly you are talking about global issues like global warming. So audience will be surprised to know where they stand, because whether it is childhood or global issues, there is no transition, there is no smooth flow, there is no structure. So how can you recommend the speaker to have a better structure? For example, you are talking about your childhood. You see the nature, the warm, cool, calm climate that time, the beauty of the nature. Then you see the temperature that time. Now, maybe after 20 years, 30 years, you are seeing a nature with high temperature. Then so that you take the audience with you and you talk about global warming. So that you have a structure, a transition. You can tell to the audience that you can advise the audience that way. And second, another point is observe the language and word choice. That is the 5th point. Whether the words are vivid means rich language, simple, and audience friendly. You can give the point to the evaluator, target speaker. The target speaker must be using some jargons or some words that not familiar or technical words. So you can advise, you can give point to the evaluator, target speaker, that you have to use simple language. Once I heard a target speaker is giving a speech because he was waiting for the CA result. Anxiety, because all of you must have waited for that CA result. So the evaluator recommended, instead of saying I was anxious to know the result, in a simple, you can say, I was restless as popcorn, as in the hot oil. See the beauty of the language. So you can recommend that way. Observe the language and word choice. You have a lot to comment on that particular area. Just to take one example from the speech. No need to comment on every sentence he used, but at least one example. Notice body language and gestures. Body language, as you must have learned from Toastmasters, body language constitutes a significant part of a speech. It should be natural. It should not something you make a lot of movements like that, because it is happening especially for first speakers, a lot of hands movements and not a natural movement. So body movements is, you observe that and recommend. So I will come to that recommendation part little later. Now I will quickly go through these 10 points. I think I took around 10 minutes now. Another 10 minutes I was to speak. You have to notice the body language and gestures and vocal variety, whether the voice. Just I saw you have to improve your vocal variety. Be specific in which area you have to improve your vocal variety. I will come to that point. Just to note down that. So you connect with the audience. The next point is whether the speaker connected with the audience. From the beginning, you can advise the target speaker to connect with the audience by asking some questions. How many of you like masala chai? Maybe few people may raise the hands. Then you can ask, how many of you don't like masala chai? Balanced people will raise the hands, so that you take the people from the beginning to the speech. That way you can give the advice to have interaction with whether if that particular speaker connected the audience very well by having a write story from the beginning, that's why you comment on that. That is part of your analysis. Offers advisable actionable suggestion like improve your body language. And so I will come to that particular things. We come into the end part, end with encouragement. Leave the speaker, that's what I told in the beginning, leave the speaker motivated, not demoralized. If you are demoralizing, actually spoiling a person. So now come to this structural part of the speech. As you know, evaluation speech is of 3 minutes duration. 2 minutes you have green light, 2.5 amber light, and 3 minutes you have red light, and you have 30-second grace time. In a contest, in Toastmasters contest style, let me explain how the contest speech is evaluated. The contest speech of evaluated in 4 segments. First one is analysis. This particular area covers 40 marks out of 100. Then recommendation, how effective your recommendation, that part 30%. Technique, 15%. Summation, 15%. What is happening in most of the time, 95% of the time, is the best evaluator, expert evaluators cover the analytical quality, best recommendation, techniques, but they forgot to have a summation that carry 50 marks. You lose 50 marks only because of that you didn't summarize your analytical, some recommendation technique. That will take maybe more than maximum 40 seconds. So before explaining each segments, what I want to tell you is that time your segments your speech structure. Analysis 40%. You can take 1.5 minutes. Recommendation and technique, because recommendation and technique can go together. It can take another 1 minute. So you covered 2.5 minutes. Even if you are exceeding maybe 2 minutes, 40 seconds, that is fine. So last 30 seconds for the effective summarization. That way you organize your speech structure. That is what I want to tell you in the beginning. So accordingly, you have to plan your speech. Otherwise, you will miss some important things. At the same time, even if you don't know anything, just don't stop in between. Just complete your time. Just have you must have a lot of notes. Just give a speech based on that. So try to prepare to have a speech of 3 minutes. That's what I want to tell you in the beginning. So now come to the important part, that is analysis. What is analysis? As I told in the beginning, this part is not just about pointing out mistakes. It is not about to criticize. It is about to contribute. Identify the strength of the target speaker. Boost their confidence. Reinforce habits that make the delivery effective. So what we are supposed to do in this session is analyze. Already the 10 points we discussed. In that 10 points, what are the strong points you believe you want to, positive points you want to tell? Cover only the strong points in the analysis session, the strength of the speaker. I remember when I told, during my third speech in Toastmasters, I talked about my professional journey. I started like this. When I was a boy, 9 years old boy, the astrologer predicted that I will die at the age of 20. But as you can see me now, I didn't die at the age of 20. But the astrologer died when I turned 20. Then I narrated how I transitioned to the story of I became a finance professional. By evaluating that speech, Toastmaster Wilson Lewis, distinguished Toastmaster Wilson Lewis told, Aravind, you are an amazing storyteller. I felt it not like a typical Toastmasters meeting. I felt it like I am seeing a movie. That way, that is why identify each, because Toastmaster Wilson Lewis identified my strength as a storyteller. That way, you identify the strength of the speaker. Similarly, when I gave a speech last year, this is about that evaluator comment on my vocal variety and strong gestures. It was like this. I was explaining my sky jumping experience from Las Vegas stratosphere. One day, my friend DTM Aravindakshan, who accompanied me to the Las Vegas, told me, Aravind, can we go to that tall building? Yes, I agreed. Maybe for some selfies, for a roof cafe, or to have some grand view of Las Vegas Strip. But soon I realized I dressed like a NASA astronaut, standing at the edge of a sky jump. When I narrated that, I got the evaluation that from Toastmaster Alex that, Aravind, I felt it like a lot of butterflies in my stomach, as if I am jumping from that top. It commented on my gestures and vocal variety. I'm not saying these are all something big achievement personally for me, but evaluators identifying, even if it is not 100% perfect. As evaluator, we have to understand Toastmasters is not about becoming perfect, but to practice and progress continuously. So it is in a place for us to make mistakes, and absolutely no problem in committing mistake, no judgment. You get a positive feedback area for improvement, and with that we can build and progress further. That's why even if last time when immediate 2-3 months back I gave the speech evaluation, I didn't do well. I was confused and I could not end well, no summation that time. So that time I realized I want to practice evaluation. Maybe Toastmaster Divesh noted that. That's why he asked me to do this session. Let Aravind practice this evaluation along with the fellow Toastmasters. So practice, you analyze the analytical part, you analyze the strength of the speakers, identify each point. Minimum, I believe you can speak about 4 or 5 points. The equation is that if you speak 5 points or 6 points as a strong point, you just restrict your recommendation for half points, maybe 2 points or 3 points, because you should not overtake that. The recommendation should not overtake the best part. That is the idea. Because people will not like much recommendation. They have different opinions. But in order to have a positive attitude towards the recommendations, you need to build a strong positive foundation at the beginning. That's what analysis is very important. Then comes to the recommendation part. Recommendation is the real opportunity to identify the area where a speaker can improve. While praising the strength, boost confidence, recommendation, it helps the speakers to grow and refine their skills. I will give some. Toastmaster Siddiq, how much time I have now?
Manoj,
Please continue. We are enjoying.
Okay.
I am not tracking the time. Manoj, who's tracking the time?
Okay, 9:30. We should finish, right? Maybe it is 9:40. There are good recommendations like a GPS. It will not scold you when you take the wrong turn, but it only always show the destination. As a recommendation giver, you have to keep note of that. You are like a GPS, not finding fault, not scolding the speaker. For example, when a speaker ending with felt rest, abrupt ending, you can say, slow down at the conclusion will make your message like a climax in a Bollywood movie. Dramatic, memorable, and never forget. Impossible to forget. You must be remembering some Bollywood movie. Even now we remember this climate. Kabhi Kushi Kabhi. Amitabh Bachchan movie. Similarly, if gestures or poses need polishing, a humorous note works. Your energy is fantastic. Just avoid pacing like a cricket umpire checking for no balls. Just recommendation that way. Some of the recommendations, maybe recommendation comes along with the technique. When you make a recommendation, now this is a beautiful part of Toastmasters. When you give recommendations to a speaker, you should be able to demonstrate it. If you cannot demonstrate, for example, you are saying you have to improve your body language. If the evaluator cannot say how to improve that body language, please don't give that evaluation point. Which point you can demonstrate, that only give. That you have to demonstrate. For example, opening hook. Evaluator is evaluating on an opening hook. Instead of starting with, today I will talk about health. Okay. A speaker can start like that. Instead of starting with a speech, today I'm talking about health. You can speak like, last week, I almost fainted. Not because of illness, but because I joined a Zumba class. That way, you can make the difference and invite the attention of the audience. That is one recommendation you can give. Similarly, for storytelling, your recommendation may be Add more stories to support your point, mainly the personal stories. Add more stories. But you can recommend, instead of saying hard work pays off, that is a sentence in the target speaker speech. Instead of saying hard work pays off, I studied all night for an exam. That day, I learned persistence is about consistency, not last minute panic. Now that lesson is alive. So give your recommendation. Another, you are commenting on the use of pause and gestures, pitch challenges, pitch changes. Then if you say, for example, I am saying, after narrating a big shocking incident to the people, you're saying, and then silence filled in the room. Have the pause there, meaningful pause. Try such kind of things, because that will, when you keep that silence, the audience will lean forward what this gentleman is going to talk now. Curiosity will rise the audience. As an evaluator, you can do that. Stage usage, that's a common usage, stage usage. Instead of standing at one place for speaking, imagine you walked to the left for talking about your past, center at the present, and moved right for the future. The stage becomes your story map. That way you recommend. And recommendations, for example, you're ending with impact because you found that the story, the speech was not closed with impact. You can recommend. Instead of saying, closing that, oh, that's all my speech, thank you. Instead of saying that, you can act like a Shah Rukh Khan, open their arms and saying,
sorry
and
to
friends,
interrupt you,
if you, yes?
yeah, regarding the time, you have another minute. We actually have
Okay.
exceeded the time, but you can wrap
Okay.
another minute.
Yeah. Just, and friends, Shah Rukh Khan dialogue, I'm in the Shah Rukh Khan dialogue. And friends, if you chase your dreams, one day your dreams will turn back and chase you. Make that dramatic closing. So next part is the summation part. This is your summation is very important. If RRS's recommendation techniques are the main course of the meal, summation is the sweet part of the meal. It is like a commentary on the football match. You fantastically narrated, give commentary about the speeches, and there is no you are not telling the result of the match. Same way, summation that carry, as I told, 15% mark. Give importance for the summation. That will reinforce the confidence to the speaker. So this is the main point that you have to take care. Now we are moving to, I believe you all noted that 10 points and the structure of your speech.
Yes.
Now we are moving to the next session, that is demo speech. 4 evaluators will note that, and I request all of you to note that. To give us this speech, we have Toastmaster Prakriti. Her speech title is, please note down, all of you can note down. The speech title is The Journey to Self-Love. The Journey to Self-Love. Now I will close my presentation. The stage is to Toastmaster Prakriti.
Thank you, Toastmaster Arvind.
Sorry, Toastmaster Pragati, just before you start, we just thought we'll inform everyone about the timers. We have, I believe everyone can see the chat messages. The green light will be then put up for the first session, for the first part. Like I'm just sharing it right now. Then there's the yellow and red. I believe everyone can watch that. And the green line will then be put up in 5 minutes. The yellow dot in 6, and then the red at 7 with 30 minutes grace. I hope everyone's okay with that. Yeah. All right.
Yes.
Over to you, Toastmaster Pragati. Sorry to cut you off.
Thank you, Rishi.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me start with the confession. Please, everyone who has felt this, raise your hand. How many of you during your childhood or teenage felt that, oh, I could just kill the person? I could just kill the person. Be honest. Either it's your sibling, your teacher, or anybody. Or you had an envy with the person whom you never met. I think many of us, and it is because of the comparison that our parents does on us. Look at your siblings, how well they are doing. Teacher, look at your friend, how they are doing, and what kind of the things you are doing. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters.
Good morning.
I want all of you to picture a garden on a sunny morning. The rose is in a full bloom, showing off its red petals. The sunflower stands at one place, tall, stretching its full body and looking towards the sky. The little daisy peeks from the ground and just being so cheerful and shining. Now imagine if the flowers started talking to each other. The daisy look at the rose and says, why do I can't smell as sweet as you? And the rose look at the sunflower and start saying, why I'm not tall as you? And the sunflowers looking at the rose start saying, why I don't have a colors like you? Suddenly, none of them feel happy. But here's the moment of the truth. The garden is beautiful as itself because there is a number of the colors and a lot of the colors shining by their own. Same as in our life. When I was in a class 8, optional mathematics was introduced to us. I secured 80 marks in my first terminal. I was so excited, happy, and I rushed towards my home and I showed my mom with the mark sheet. And my mom was also so excited. You have done well in your first terminal. But in my innocence, I also mentioned about my friend Max, who was my best friend, and she secured 88 marks in the same subject. Suddenly, the whole joy disappeared there. My mom, the smile she has on her face suddenly disappeared and she said, if she can secure 88 marks in her optional mathematics, then why can't you? I think you haven't given your 100% towards your study. That moment, I realized that the strong friendship between the two friends silently changed into the rivalry. From that day onwards, I started studying, but not to learn, but to beat her. I started practicing, not to enhance my knowledge, just to win her. The only thing in my innocent mind was that to outshine her. The innocent love between the two friends suddenly disappeared, and the kind of the envy things has been entered in our heart. I just don't understand. I have seen so many speeches where people say, if I can't do, why can't you? If I can do this, then why can't you do? But the question is, you are the one yourself and I am a myself. We are not the same person. I do understand. If you can do the same thing, I might not do as well. Why there is always a strong comparison between the two persons for the same pattern. If I can't do, why can't you don't do it? You know, the moment of realization when I get in my life to the journey of my self-love is there was one dance competition. I'm a dancer as well. In that dance competition, whatever my dance teacher taught a move, I have performed well, but I forget some steps and I have given my some own input. Then after my performance, I went back the stage and my sir said, why don't you follow the same structure that I have taught you? The contestant number 3 has done so well. The steps were so clear. And that moment, without getting the results, I was so sad, and I was about to leave the program and go from there. But at last, the result came. I won that competition. And that moment, I realized the comparison things that the teacher has done between the two friends, the two contestants, given so much panic, given so much self-doubt on me, that I have never ever thought that I could win the competition. I was good in myself, but I can't see that. My mirror lies at that time that I'm not able to perform well. But the judges sitting around there might not know about the step that sir had taught me. And I might have performed really very good that I can win that competitions. You know, the comparison that starts in the childhood, and especially from the people who are supposed to love the most, if they do these types of the comparison, that can plant a seed of a self-doubt in ourselves. Comparison breeds self-doubt, insecurity, even self-hatred as well. The ego of that is not enough and I'm not able to do enough goes our head again and again whenever we try to do something. We are not doing something to make ourselves better, but to beat somebody else. Even in a Dubai, I have seen a friend who was manifesting to get a salary range of 15,000 dirhams couple of weeks ago, and he truly get the same job, and the very next morning his same friend got a job of 18,000 dirhams, and the whole excitement that he had yesterday for getting that 15,000 dirhams job vanished away suddenly just because of the comparison. So once Buddha said, you yourself as much as anybody in this world deserves loves and affections. The only person you need to better is the person who yourself yesterday. So my friends, I'd like to give you a tip. Run your race at your own place and celebrate your finish line no matter where it is. Comparison is the death of joy. Leave the comparison. Be you. Smile. Give the courage to yourself. You can do, but don't follow the things whenever somebody says, if I can do, then why can't you do? Just think that you can do and I can do. Thank you very much. Over to you.
Excellent speech.
Thank you, Toastmaster Pragati. Now we are moving to the evaluation speech. First, we'll invite our very experienced Toastmaster. Maybe we have to give 1 minute or 2 minutes, Toastmaster Divesh, to prepare.
Yes, sir. I was going to say that. And in this time, if I can also clarify that we will change. I did not notice the icon for the timing. I'm not sure if it is my, Zoom or somebody, what's the problem. So we also have a backup timer as Manoj Tamang. So Manoj is maintaining his background as a color of green, amber, and red. So along with Rishi's message, Manoj will also change his background. And Manoj can just spotlight him for a second the moment he changes the background color. So that the evaluation speaker will get to know that they are exceeded the time or they're on time.
Yeah, like green, yellow, and red.
I hope that's clear to all the evaluation speakers. So with that, I'll hand it over to you, DTM Aravindakshan.
Maybe evaluators can take 5 minutes because that's a standard timing to prepare. In between, anybody want to speak anything? I think I saw the message of our Venkata sir. Yes. Venkat sir, are you there?
Sir, in the meantime, if I can ask Manoj to share his screen as green the moment the 5 minutes have elapsed.
Okay.
Okay. When it's 5 minutes, I'll be showing the green. The background will change to green. And when it is not 5 minutes, for the evaluation speech, for 2 minutes, it will be green. 2 minutes, 30 seconds, it will be amber. And 3 minutes, it will be red.
I think Mr. Toastmaster Venkat is not in the meeting. I think he's left the meeting.
So can I say a few words? I know that I'm an evaluator, but still, I would really like to say a few words. I think this was a very comprehensive overview on the evaluation session. It has given me to reflect on a lot of things as well. Being here since the last 4 years, I've seen some really excellent evaluations, contests, and how this has been summarized. I'm sure that this is going to be of great value. It's been of great value to myself, uh, and yeah, I mean we are here to learn from each other. I encourage the newer Toastmasters to also imbibe the 10 values that were shared. I think this is a very good roadmap for us to kind of elevate our evaluation skills. And the beauty of evaluation is it enhances the value of a Toastmasters meeting. A good evaluation makes it better for everyone because we get to all learn and improve ourselves. So thank you, sir, for that.
Any other Toastmaster want to share about learning today? Because let the evaluators do their work preparation. Maybe Rishi.
Thank you, DTM Aravindakshan. For me, I've always been hesitant in giving evaluation because I always felt that there is so much more. There's always been a place where the structure is not there, but now I think you've given me a structure to understand that this is what I need to ensure, that I need to motivate the speaker, and I need to give the right point so that they can progress ahead. So thank you so much for sharing that. I'll also want to add to Toastmaster Pragati that thank you for the speech. It was really insightful. Comparison is truly the biggest devil in anyone's life, and we need to ensure that we keep the devil out. So, wishing you all the best. I will surely take away a lot of key points what you have mentioned, and yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rishi. You highlighted a very important point on the evaluation. You told that you are mainly on the speeches, prepared speeches, project speeches.
Yeah.
That is what the general understanding about Toastmaster education program about speech. Speech means project speech. But
Yes.
this evaluation speech is some underrated, not so popular segment of speech contest, but it is highly important. In this particular segment, we learn a lot.
Yeah.
From the other speaker's perspective, we have opportunity to contribute to others' life. And by being a good evaluator, we, as a human being, we become better human being.
That's true.
Not only it will help in Toastmasters, in office, in your family life, everywhere this particular style, finding the strength instead of criticizing, will boost your relationship, the quality of the relationship will be improved dramatically. That I personally witnessed in personal and family life, office life, everywhere. So that is why this is one area we didn't look much, but we have a lot of potential to improve us further. I think it is time, 5 minutes over, right? So now this is today's we have 4 evaluations. All first evaluator will be Toastmaster Rajaram. All other evaluators can listen their speeches. Not a problem. In the contest, others evaluators not allowed to listen the first evaluators, previous evaluators' speeches. But here it is a education session. You are free to listen. Even better not to tell anything what he told. Maybe if points you can tell if you noted, but maybe specific structure. You, as Rajaram said, as Divesh said, no need to refer the previous speaker. That only you have to ensure. Otherwise, it will be your speech. You give a excellent impression. Now let us start the speech. First from very experienced senior Toastmaster Rajaram.
First of all, thank you, Pragati, for taking time on Saturday and attending this evaluation education session, which was really enriching and enlightening for all of us. Like there are a lot of takeaways for all of us. So thanks for DTM Aravindakshan and all the ICAT members. As far as the speech goes, I was really inspired when you said the image, like when you ask us to imagine the garden, rose, daisy, flowers. I really thought that this Saturday morning, I am already in the garden. So very well presented. The title of the speech was Journey of Self-Love. The title was excellent and it was very easy to connect with the audience. And the kind of examples you gave, this happens every day in our daily lives. Every time we do comparison, and then when we do the comparison, we feel something is missing in our lives. So very well chosen subject and very easy to connect with the audience. And that is the right way to select a speech and right way to deliver, right way to select a topic for a speech. So I really like that part. Then you started the speech when you mentioned that I could have just killed a person. You asked a question to audience. That is another very good way to connect with the audience, because then you grab attention of the audience and then you carry along these audience with your speech until the end. Then you also use your creativity was at best when you mentioned that rose, daisy, sunflower are talking to each other. So it's like something which is a really creative way to deliver a speech, because you are taking the speech to a next level, or you are taking your audience to imagine something. So that is another very good point to connect with the audience. You use some eye-catching phrases, which I really like. Some catching phrases you mention, which I really like moment of truth, moment of realization. So these are the good words and good phrases we can use in our speech to enrich the quality of the speech. And you also use quotes of Buddha, which is another very good way to grab attention of the audience. So these are very good things I really like about the speech. I give you some room for improvement also. Overall, very well structured speech, but I still give you some room for improvement. When you mention that, you said that moment, like you mentioned that moment, rather than showing that moment, you can say that moment. Like you can take audience to a place, because then you can use this hand gesture for something else. Then also once you mention in my mind, but you mention my mind like this, but we have to use my mind like this, so audience can connect that, okay, we are referring to my mind. So overall, I'll say very good speech, well structured speech. In a summary, I'll say very good speech title, very good delivery, and with few points of improvement of hand gestures and this like using mainly hand gestures. I am sure you can deliver more good speeches in coming meetings, and looking forward for more speeches from you in the coming meetings. Wishing you all the best.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rajaram. Now let us move to our next evaluator, Toastmaster Kavita.
I was on mute.
Toastmaster Kavita, you are on mute.
Yeah. Okay. What a splendid speech by Toastmaster Pragati. What a good start. I really imagine I'm in the garden and flowers are talking to each other. So now whenever I will go to the garden, I will always remember that. And in our Bollywood movies, every time they show the flowers at the end of any particular scene. So I really remember that one. It was a very nice speech, nice start. Toastmaster Pragati, definitely the purpose of the speech has met. The title of the speech was Journey to Self-Love. It was very catching title. Another thing is, the start of the speech was very good. The language of the speech was very heart-touching, simple, which is reaching to audience. You also engage the audience by asking the questions and asking them to imagine the gardens and flower. That was a very good point in your speech. Another thing is the vocal variety and hand gestures are going as per your the speech titles and contents. So there was there was perfect match what is your storytelling and what you are trying to reach. The speech has clear start, clear body, and clear message of love yourself. That was very splendid and very good. Okay. Now, obviously, there will be always a chance of the improvement, or there is also from our perspective, what we felt is okay. There is a little bit pauses was required because I felt this speech of space was a little faster, and after the flower incidents, just give little. You could have given little moment to the audience to grasp the momentum, the moments. So they will be also in that same zone like you. Okay. And second thing is the expressions. Like when your mother was showing the anger, why can't you score more percentage? It could have been little more angry mode, or the expression could have been like this: why can't you score more than this? When other person can do it, why can't you do it? So this could have been little more the vocal variety required and that time. In the summary, well drafted speech, very good speech with good phrases, with the message of Buddha. It has a clear body summary, the body language, beginning, body, and summary. And the recommendation, I hope you will follow the recommendation, giving the pauses between the sentence, allowing the audience to grasp the moment, and little bit vocal variety improvement is required. And we see you in the future with more good speeches. All the best, Toastmaster Pragati. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kavita. Now let us move to Toastmaster Divesh.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Aravindakshan. The Journey to Self-Love was the title of our target speaker, Toastmaster Pragati's speech today. And what a beautiful opening of painting a picture in all our minds of being in a garden where there were flowers and these flowers could talk to each other. And there was this moment where, she beautifully described how there was competition between the flowers on the fragrances. And this was a wonderful analogy to show how we as human beings sometimes are flawed and we fall into the competition traps. She narrated the story of her life experiences in a very subtle but chronological manner, explaining through the journey that she faced during the childhood with her friends in her school and also in Toastmasters. I think that's an excellent way to give more personal flair into what your life experiences are, and this is something which the audience definitely can relate to. Kudos to you on narrating and drafting such a wonderful speech in which really touched our heartstrings. There was ample usage of quotes from people such as the Gautam Buddha, and towards the end, you also mentioned an important line, a takeaway, that is, run your race at your own pace. Throughout the speech, I noticed ample use of vocal variety. What I would, and also there were questions asked to the audience along with body language. Even though we are on a Zoom meeting, I did notice you show finger movements at the right moment so that it landed the message really well. What I could also suggest to maybe incorporate in a next hybrid meeting or an online meeting is maybe you can ask the audience to react by raising their hands. That could be one way that you can really get their attention or engagement. I did notice that the speech had a beginning, a body, and a close. So overall, you had a vivid storytelling. You used your personal examples well, used vocal variety to your advantage as well as body language. And if there is one area of improvement or elevation, that would definitely be audience engagement in a Zoom scenario where you can ask them to maybe react. Uh, and one thing which I missed saying earlier, and I will just conclude by including that as well, subtle use of humor can elevate this to the next level. And I look forward to witnessing you giving further speeches down the line. Over to you, DTM Aravindakshan.
Thank you, Toastmasters Divesh. Now let us move to next evaluator. It's a member of Gavel Club, Gavalier Vyom Patel.
Good morning, everybody. I'd like to start off the evaluation by just pointing out that the target speaker engages the audience right from the start with a question that really shows the frustration and anger that she feels from the comparisons that's being made. Would you like to kill anybody that's comparing you, like your teacher or your friends or your siblings? So that is a great way of starting your speech. And then in the entire speech, her voice modulation was making the speech sound lively. It was not monotone at all, and it never bored the audience at any point. And the metaphor of flowers was a great yet simple analogy to demonstrate the effect of comparison on everybody. Like how the the rose would the rose doesn't have that lively colors, or the sunflower is how the sunflower isn't like as beautiful or something like that, I'm sure. And that was a great metaphor. She also used great hand gestures despite being on a Zoom meeting. And I noticed that the examples she used, she portrayed them extremely well. And everyone was able to understand, and it was almost as if they were in that situation, which was great. And she also sympathizes with the audience's emotions as if something like this would have happened to them. And I really liked the examples that she used, like the test results, because that's something that's happened to almost everybody. That's very relatable, and the way she demonstrates it is brilliant. And this next example about the dance competition as well, it just goes to show that being yourself can actually have its fruits and, help you do better. And lastly, there was a good conclusion that was motivating the audience and that was making them love themselves, which does fulfill the main topic of the speech. And one thing that I would do in if I was the speaker was, instead of spending a lot of time on demonstrating examples, I would point out that you should love yourself instead of giving examples that makes the audience want to love yourself, to make the point of the speech more clear. And other than that, I have no other criticisms. The introduction was great, body was great with clear examples, and the conclusion was also great with a great quote, and ending off with um, run your race at your own pace, which was a quote that I really resonated with. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Gavalier Vyom. Now we finished all our agenda. We had our session. We had a speaker for excellent evaluations. Toastmaster Pragati, you liked the evaluation? You got some valuable points?
Yes, I really got many valuable points. I was truly excited for this as speech as well, because so many evaluators are evaluating me, and this is the best way of improving myself, because getting a insight from so many peoples will lead to me be the more better version of myself.
Okay, yes.
So yes, thank you very much for the opportunity, and I truly love this educational session.
Okay,
Thank
thank you. I just want to comment only on the evaluations. Speakers, target speaker already commented by 4 expert evaluators. I found that all the evaluators correctly followed the format, analysis, recommendation, technique, and summation. They're beautifully organized. That is, I saw that. And the encouraging feedback, that also very good. That Toastmaster Pragati told that it is encouraging feedback. And coming to, I believe I can take maybe 5 minutes. Toastmaster Divesh.
Yes, sir, no problem.
Yeah. Toastmaster Rajaram highlighted all the major specific points. What I liked his evaluation is that whenever he telling a statement of positive strength, he have a clear examples, very focused. He explain it that way. If, for example, if he say the Toastmaster asked a question to connect with the audience. So with this sentence, asked a question to connect with your audience, it actually fulfill in the fundamental technical requirement of a public speech. Ask a question to connect with the audience, then he gave that example, that question he asked, so that the sentence is clear, specific, and fully meaningful. So that way I found Toastmaster Rajaram, as he's a very experienced evaluator, he had a lot of things to share, and especially the demonstration of the technique, that also I liked, that moments and pause, telling about this one, everything I like very much, and is wonderful summation. Only suggestion I may have, Toastmaster Rajaram, is to time your analysis. Maybe use go to that recommendation technique after seeing the red light, green light, maybe after some time. So before green light only, go to the next level, so that you have ample time for the recommendation and technique. I'm sure you have a lot of points in the recommendation side. The equation is that if you, I think it will cover around 6 positive points. You can go up to 3 area for recommendation and technique. That is only point. And same is the thing I want to tell to Toastmaster Kavita and Toastmaster Divesh and Vyom Patel. Keep this equation, structure your speech to adhere to the time. And I heard Toastmaster Vyom is telling, I'm not going for another criticism. No, it is not about recommendation. It is about area for improvement. Just refine your words accordingly. We are not criticizing anybody. We are just recommending. So that word, please note that. And all evaluators identify the strength of the speakers. I have clear examples. Only one, Toastmaster Kavita, I wanted to tell you that when you talk about used vocal variety, body language, have your examples. I'm sure you have examples in your note. Because of the time limit, you could not tell that or something. Just to tell that example also, so that the audience will understand which area use the vocal variety, which vocal variety you wanted to tell to the audience. So that very specifically tell that. Overall, great evaluations. And I really love the session, that my session got some result. Even if we are speaking to all our experienced evaluators, I believe all audience member could be able to understand the technicality, structure, and format of the evaluation. As I told in between, evaluation speech is one of the high underrated speech segment in Toastmasters, but it has tremendous value. I would not say much more than project speech, but it has tremendous value to contribute to the other people's life, so that we learn and become better evaluator. By becoming a better evaluator, we become better human being also, better professionals in our family life, in our professional life. So utilize this opportunity by following the strict structure in Toastmasters. Toastmaster structure is to help ourselves to become better communicator and leaders. That's all from me. Over to Toastmaster Divesh.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Aravindakshan. Sir, if you can also spare a few words on the panel evaluation, because the next meeting we have a panel evaluation. So for our newer members, what they can expect, and they are also evaluating. Some of them are evaluating for the first time as well.
Okay. I am imagining a Toastmaster. Pragati is the speaker, and Toastmaster Rajaram, Toastmaster Divesh, and Toastmaster Kavita, and Toastmaster Vyom as the panel members. Now, Toastmaster Rajaram will be the moderator. That way I am imagining. So Toastmaster Rajaram will brief to the speakers, or all the evaluators, that you will be evaluating all the speeches. You should have notes on the analysis, recommendation, technique, and closing. So that way, in panel evaluation, the beauty of the panel evaluation is that speaker get evaluation from all the evaluators, not from single evaluator. So Rajaram will brief all evaluators, panel members, that I am going to, you have to evaluate all speakers, keep note that. I will ask questions based on the parameters, the parameters within the speech evaluations: analysis, recommendation, technique, and this is my segments. So you ask a specific question. For example, Rajaram will ask a specific questions to Kavita. Toastmaster Kavita, how will you analyze Toastmasters Pragati's speech in terms of its connection to the audience and speech title and message? 3 asks. The Toastmaster Kavita is supposed to answer only that particular point. Toastmaster Kavita is not supposed to answer any other point. Only the question asked by Toastmaster Rajaram, the moderator. That Kavita can take maximum 30 seconds or 40 seconds to answer that. Keep your answer very small and crisp, because overall timing for this evaluation, entire evaluation of a particular speaker will be maximum 5 minutes, I believe. So one question can be up to maximum 40 seconds. So then Rajaram, panel moderator, go to the next evaluator, Toastmaster Vyom, asking about, Vyom, which are the area you feel the speech need further area for improvement, and how will you recommend that improvement, demonstrate that improvement? So in that, when Rajaram asks the question, Vyom will ask only the area for improvement and techniques. And similarly, Toastmaster Devesh, Toastmaster Rajaram will be, moderator will be asking question, what is the area for, maybe your area, how the speech have value to the audience, maybe some other aspect, dimension of the speech. If the speech has some specific objectives like body language, for example, Toastmasters Pathway project, right? Body language or vocal variety or connection to the audience or professional speech, you can focus your question based on that. So Devesh will answer only for that. So that way you ask questions maximum. So in this panel evaluation, the summation job is mostly to the moderator. Toastmaster Rajaram will be the moderator, summarizing the all contents what spoken by other panel members. So he give the excellent, encouraging feedback to the summation to the speaker. That way, a speech has to be evaluated under panel discussion mode. Basically, panel moderator asks a question, a simple, straightforward question to a panel member. That panel member supposed to answer only that, taking maximum 30 seconds or 35 seconds. So should not exceed time. So that the panel moderator can ask maximum 2 questions to each panel members. I think that is a short summary of then. I want to talk to each panel member, so we are conducting a specific session for this, only for panel evaluation, only for this particular, I can do that, maybe 10 minutes, so that we can demonstrate that.
Thank you, sir. That was really very valuable. I'm sure all the members, new and old, will really be benefiting from this session. I'm sorry my video is looking a bit wonky. It's because I'm inside the car under basement parking right now. So, but once again, I really want to thank Toastmaster Dharmendra as well to allow us the opportunity to extend the invite to JLT Gavels Club. So congratulations to all the Gavaliers as well as ICAT members to make it on a Saturday morning. and enlighten themselves with these pearls of wisdom on how evaluation can really encourage us to become better human beings, not just as Toastmasters. So I'm with that, I'm really energized and enthusiastic about how our next meeting, which is going to have a panel evaluation and a speakathon, is going to be like. So really appreciate everybody's efforts here, including the XCOM team, and special mention to the two timers that we had today, Rishi, Manoj, as well as Sergeant at Arms in the morning. To all the evaluators and role players, Toastmaster Pragati as well. Kudos to you all, and really thank you for making this a really wonderful occasion on a Saturday morning.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Devesh. Thank you, everyone, for your
Thank you, Devesh.
support,
Thank
encouragement. Thank you, Dharmendra.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Ravindra.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.